Well, fuel, as we just heard, is essential for Gazans, but it's one of the key sticking points with the limited aid deliveries into the Strip. Israel accuses Hamas of diverting fuel supplies to use it for its war effort. This doesn't make the situation any easier for Gazan civilians who were already under blockade before the conflict broke out. To talk more about this, we're now joined by Chiara Saccardi, regional head of the operations for the aid group Action Against Hunger. Ms. Saccardi, thanks for joining us. Just give us an idea of how operations are going at the Rafah crossing.
It's going too slow for the time being. As we noticed, there are some trucks that are coming in, but again, it's a very few trucks compared to the needs on the ground. By today, I think that we are around just a little bit more than 80 trucks that have entered since 6 days ago when they started. And we know that before the conflict, Gaza was depending on at least 100 trucks per day to supply with the basic items. So we see that the situation is really going too slow. It's not covering the minimum needs of the population in such circumstances right now inside Gaza.
We heard the UN humanitarian chief said only crumbs were getting in, as you just described. What needs to change to get the aid to these civilians that they need?
Well, first of all, we would need a ceasefire. We need to be able to move safely on the ground. We need to be able to do our work as humanitarians to support the people, to be able to move these items, to let them in, so to have a sustained humanitarian corridor to allow all the items to get in a continuous manner and allow the people to be able to move around safely. And that's a very big problem because, of course, in these conditions, it's not the aid is not able to reach to the most vulnerable or to cross along the different areas of the Strip.
We mentioned the fuel situation there. Of course, supplies running very low along with food and water. Now, Israel says Hamas is diverting supplies in order to be able to continue its campaign of firing thousands of rockets. Now, I know that's veering towards a military discussion, but to keep it humanitarian, what can aid groups like yours do to ensure that the supplies are getting where they need to go?
Well, that's our role on the field. We receive the supplies that we control them. We are able to work directly on the ground and to deliver it to the people that need it. So we don't have any evidence that fuel has entered through the trucks that have been crossing in these days. So we continue to insist that this fuel is vital for everything, also for running water system, which is one of the basic requirements. So our role is to be there to really manage these items and be able to do our work directly. We are there, we are on the ground. Let's have some security, some safety in order to be able to move the items. We are there and we can support the population.
And can you give us any more details about what we're expecting in the coming days? What's ready to go into Gaza as we speak?
Well, there are hundreds and hundreds of trucks piling up on the border. There is also humanitarian coordination that help us to stock the items to go into the pipeline so that we are able to send our items in. Thing is that it's going too slow. As I mentioned, the trucks are there, the items are available. We are scaling up in all manners. All the organizations are doing that along with the United Nations. So that's an incredible situation. The items are there, just they cannot go in. They cannot get in, and it's incredible to think that people are just suffering and dying because of hunger, because of lack of basic items for survival, and the items are just a few kilometers across the border.
Okay, Ms. Saccardi, thank you very much for your insight there. Ms. Chiara Saccardi from the aid group Action Against Hunger joining us there from Spain.